Hi, I'm Kenny Curran, campaign manager here at Team Murphy, just sitting down with our field director here, Sean Scanlon, and we're going over the turnout numbers that we're going to need for this upcoming primary on August 14th. We just got done with our convention a few weeks ago where Chris won a 3-to-1 margin, almost unprecedented in Connecticut convention history, and that support came from all across the state. Some have told us that a big statewide Senate race like this, you can't focus on door-to-door activity, but Chris Murphy and everybody here on the team only knows one way how to do things, and that's by a lot of door-to-door and phone calls and heavy voter contact. So I thought I'd bring Sean in here to catch you up to speed.
Thanks, Kenny. We're just coming off the first weekend of voter contact here in the primary. It's a very exciting time here in the office. We had a lot of people knocking on doors in over 12 cities and towns over the weekend to kick off our primary campaign. We have about 10 weeks left to go until the Democratic primary on August 14th. And so I thought that I would just kind of talk a little bit about where we're at in terms of numbers across the state, what we're expecting in this primary, and how you can help us out. As some of you guys remember, 2 years ago in 2010, Governor Malloy and Ned Lamont had a very competitive primary for governor. And about 180,000 people voted in that primary as Democrats out of about 730,000, so about a 24% turnout. And so our greatest challenge this year in the next 2 months, the next 10 weeks before this primary, is to find out who are the voters that are going to come out and vote for us, and then moreover, convince them that Chris is the best Democrat to represent our party against Linda McMahon and her millions this fall. And it's very important that we get out there and talk to people on the streets and in your towns and in your cities, because that's the only way we can do this. Chris has never run anything but a grassroots campaign. We're committed to doing it that way in person this year and on the phone. We're going to be opening offices all over the state. We just opened an office over the weekend in Bridgeport, in New Haven, and New London. We'll soon have them in Hartford and up in Waterbury. And our main office here in Rocky Hill that we're sitting in today is kind of the main headquarters of the campaign. We'll be doing stuff out of there. But there will be field offices coming to the areas near you, and we hope that you'll stop by, introduce yourself, and say hello to our staff there. But it's important that we make sure that we're hitting the doors. We're going into small towns. We're going into communities and making sure that people know about Chris's record. The 1st District and the 3rd District are so important to us, and every Democrat that's running statewide. They are the most votes that are going to come out in the primary, the most Democrats live there, and we're going to work those places hard. But another part of this is going to be about turning out people in places that don't necessarily win Democratic elections, but they have a lot of Democrats that live there. Places like the 5th District that Chris represents right now. It's the most conservative district in the state. Chris won it by 8 points in 2010, and we have a lot of fired up supporters that are ready to get to work there. In the 4th District, it's especially important because Chris isn't known well there. The New York media market is where Fairfield County is. And Chris is well known there because he's never been on TV there. So it's very important that we get to the 4th District a lot this summer. And finally into the 2nd District, whereas the biggest district land-wise of the state, it's very hard to get around very easily because it's so different directions and so many small roads, but we're going to do that this summer. We're going to get all over there and even go into every single small town that we can to make sure that our message is getting across, that Chris would be a great voice for Eastern Connecticut and the needs that they have out there. So as you've seen here, we've talked today a lot about the numbers that we need to win and what we need to do to make sure we win, but it's important that we have your help to do this. We have about 10 weeks left until the primary, and every single day that goes by is a day that we need to be out there contacting voters. It's going to be very low turnout in this election, and it's very important we meet with and speak to as many people as possible about Chris and his record and why it's important that we send Chris to Washington to be our next U.S. Senator. So I hope that you'll log on to the website that you see below us here, chrismurphy.com/volunteer. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where you're willing to help out, and somebody will call you and make sure that we set you up so that you can join our team here as we go out across the state and make sure that we have a conversation with everybody about the importance of Chris, this election, and what we can all do together as a team to make sure that he's our next U.S. Senator. So please log on. We'll see you soon, and thank you in advance for all your help.